Heath, I'm going to start with you first, Mr. Handsome. What are we saying about Christian Pulisic coming on and scoring game winners for Chelsea as he does? That's why he wears the number 10 shirt, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I was stoked to see him do that. I was less stoked to see just his generalist comment after of just like, yeah, you know, happy to help the team and opportunities. Bro, take your shots. Thomas Tuchel's taking shots at you for going to the national team. Like that's what teams did when I was playing. Like when I was playing in Germany, I was like one of 3 players that called into the national team. You got punished every time you left because everybody was there training, but you're playing at Chelsea. The whole place is gone. I get your flight's a little bit longer and all that stuff, but if he's going to take shots, shoot shots back, man.
Okay, all right. And Charlie, what are you saying about this? Because of anything that I actually really appreciate, low-key really appreciate about Christian Pulisic is his ability to bounce back when things aren't going his way. There's been plenty of times where you could see him kind of have that Eeyore puppy dog, these things aren't going my way, but he figures out a way to finally almost get out of his own way and start to score some big goals and have more influence on the team. But it still hasn't seemed to have convinced Thomas Tuchel to make him a regular.
He's resilient. He's always stepped up in the big moments. And I think when he's fit and he's in form and you can tell he's dialed in and happy, he's the best attacker for me that Chelsea has. And he's proven it at times. And you talk about those brilliant moments that he's been able to produce. No one else is doing that for Chelsea at that level. He is just so dynamic. He really brings the attack together because he can hit you in so many different ways, whether it's dribbling, whether it's his off the ball runs, his service. He's very effective. And what we've seen from the U.S. men's national team, it's almost like they rely on him too much to do that. Whereas at Chelsea, it's okay, here's your moment. You know, we've created space. We have all these other players who can do a little bit and take the load off of him. With the U.S. men's national team, I think he puts it on himself to be the man. I see Reed, CP10 is the man. He is the man when he's fit. And I think Thomas Tuchel takes him for granted a little bit. And I think that's why maybe a move this summer would probably be, I think, best for both parties in this case, because they're not relying on him the way that, one, he wants to be relied on. He wants to be on the pitch. And it's great. You have someone pushing him. You don't want everything to be guaranteed, which is something that we always talk about. That's why you go to Europe, because you're uncomfortable, you're pushed. But at the same time, you need to be at a place where they value you. You're getting pushed, but they value you. And I don't think they do that quite enough at Chelsea.
Jimmy, do you think that he's the best player that we've ever had for the national team under pressure like that? Now, I don't mean like chip on the shoulder, coming back. I don't mean the adversity side. I just mean the fact that he comes in late in the game and is able to score in a match of that magnitude to get Chelsea that win. That sort of, we talk about Weston McKennie, we talk about others having that X factor or that game changer ability, but do you think he's sort of at the highest we've ever had in terms of that at the level that he's playing at?
I would say Clint Dempsey probably takes the cake with that, just in terms of World Cups. I mean, the guy scores goals every single World Cup he's been in terms of those big moments. But if you're talking about just quality as a whole, he's the best player that we've ever had with the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie on the Clint Dempsey shout in terms of like chip on your shoulder, wanting to prove, I don't care what the situation is, I'm going to stick this right up your ass. I love that about Clint Dempsey. Christian doesn't seem to have that maybe same type of animosity that Clint had, and I think that was one of his biggest strengths, was turning kind of that negativity into a positivity. I would say
getting elbowed in the face by Clint?
Well, no, he broke my jaw.
You know, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was just saying that because he used to elbow me in the face all the time in training. I'm like, bro, like we got a game tomorrow.
Yeah. Like
this is a walkthrough.
Yeah. Wait,
this was one of those. They literally said no contact, no tackling, and he's like, "That's an elbow. That's not a tackle."
No, it's one of those things. He hits you in the face a couple times. Like, wait, we're friends? Are we friends? I don't know if we're friends. That feels a little bit past the friend line. But no, Clint and I have had great battles over the years. And
where did you break your jaw?
It was in New England. It was after the World Cup. So we were World Cup teammates, and about a month later, he broke my jaw in an MLS game. You know, I'll be honest, just a little quick sidebar. I was a little bit, not depressed, but it was kind of in a bit of a fog because I'd accomplished everything I'd set out to do and then some by playing in a World Cup. And I just had a bit of a letdown coming off of that. And I needed a break mentally. And so I have to thank Clint Dempsey's elbows for giving me that because I had to be wired shut for 8 weeks. Okay, sidebar over. With regard to Christian Pulisic, I love his 1v1 ability, and his ability to really unbalance teams when he beats that first player is excellent. And I don't know if we had somebody as maybe quick, and Clint's got it, but Clint creates space in a little bit of a different way.
Mhm.
Whereas I think that with Christian, he drives at you a little bit more. He's almost a mix of Clint and Landon in some capacity, where he's kind of got the quickness of Landon, but a little bit of that deceptiveness that I think that Clint had with the ball. Whereas I think Landon's off the ball running was excellent. So with Christian, what gives me the biggest pause, Heath, about the whole thing is when I saw those Tuchel comments, and I'm going to read the comment now because you addressed it before. He said Pulisic struggled a little bit since he came back from international break, where I think he had 3 matches and an incredible amount of journeys and time zones to cope with. From there, he struggled a bit energy-wise. That was my impression on and off the pitch. Sometimes it is like this. So I hear Tuchel say that about Pulisic, and I wonder, but you rolled out 37-year-old Thiago Silva, who's coming from Brazil. He's going through the same goddamn thing, and you don't think Pulisic has the capacity to do that, but Thiago Silva is. And now I understand they're two different positions, and the way that Chelsea plays defense, you're not maybe doing as much running as opposed to what they want from Pulisic. But I don't know. Interesting comments, and it just feels like Tuchel's made his decision that he's going to be a super sub, and everybody's got to be okay with that. Charlie, what do you think?
I think the reading is it's on the wall. I mean, for someone like Christian Pulisic, who has shown his quality, has played under Tuchel. Tuchel developed him helped develop him at Dortmund. You have him at Chelsea, and he's always the first sub. It feels like he's always the first person that Tuchel has to make an excuse for. Oh, you're traveling too much. Your energy is too low. When you look at the rest of the roster, it also kind of coincides with Timo Werner, who seems to be going up, right? And Christian's coming down. And because you're giving him confidence, you're giving him opportunities, and those opportunities are taking away from time from Christian. So it's obviously a deep roster. It's Chelsea. Anywhere you go across the board at that level, you're going to have competition. And if you're not performing week in and week out, typically it's the next guy's turn, because you're competing for Champions League, you're competing for league trophies. But I think with where Chelsea are right now and how Thomas Tuchel has used him, he's used him at wing back, he's used him left, right, withdrawn striker. It's not been one position, and I think when you get to those levels, you're kind of stapled with one position if you're the guy. He's not the guy at Chelsea.